The CBS 58 Big Road Trip is now underway. Our team left this morning. Destination Santa Clara, California, the site of Super Bowl 50, which airs right here on CBS 58. Along the way, anchor Bill Walsh, meteorologist Justin Thompson-Gee, and two of our photojournalists will be sharing stories from big cities and small towns across America.
This head is important to the Packers. All of Wisconsin, really. It must be kept safe. It must be protected from hits like this. We're in the testing lab at Schutt Sports. The force of this hit, pretty common on the field in today's NFL.
It literally is a 20-mile-an-hour car crash.
A Packers helmet starts out looking a lot like this. Then they go into the molding machine. Then they get painted a special color of Packers gold.
We're not allowed to divulge what the mixture is and the recipe, but we have it.
Then they are assembled by hand, not a machine.
It's really, again, it's a very artistic process, and as much science to it, there's just as much feel and artisanship.
The helmet and head injuries under scrutiny these days.
It's absolutely something that needs to be studied.
Schutt says no helmet will guarantee an NFL player's safety.
Football is a physical sport. It is a game of collisions. We cannot get rid of all risk from the game of football.
But the company says they will keep testing and they will keep innovating.
Always looking. We're always looking for better ways.
Beautiful day here in Kansas City. Behind me, Arrowhead Stadium, the home of the Kansas City Chiefs, and inside Arrowhead Stadium, the Chiefs Hall of Honor, and team historian Bob Moore. Moore, basically a walking encyclopedia of all things football. Seriously, he knows everything. Now, you might know at home that the Chiefs owner, Lamar Hunt, came up with the name Super Bowl based on a bouncy kid's toy called the Super Ball, and that the name Super Bowl took a little bit of a while to catch on. But did you also know that it was Hunt that came up with two other huge, massive Super Bowl traditions?
So he also came up with the system of Roman numerals, which for this year, 1950, they're not going to do it because they think it's too clumsy. But Lamar liked that particular idea. Right after the game was over, they had to come up with a name for the trophy. Lamar also had his hand in that when he named it the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
All right, so I asked Moore why Lamar Hunt decided that it should be the Vince Lombardi Trophy, and Moore didn't have a specific reason out of Hunt. Basically that Vince Lombardi, as you all know at home, was the dominant coach of his era and dominant coach at the time. Sometimes that's just the way things work out. Driving, touring Arrowhead Stadium, more football. It was a full day, and that led to 4 empty bellies. We needed barbecue, and this is a road trip. We get one shot at this, so we sought advice.
Where's the best place for barbecue?
Best barbecue would be at Gates Barbecue.
It's Gates for me.
Jack Stack.
Oklahoma Joe's.
What makes good barbecue? Well, depends on who you ask.
And the sauce is just addictive.
Quantity. Variety, too.
And seasoning.
It was close, but our not scientific poll said go to Gates. So we did.
Hi, may I help you?
4 combination plates later, we were in business.
Beef ribs, brisket, french fries, pickles, and then 78 loaves of bread.
KC takes barbecue seriously, and they don't take a backseat to anybody else. Did 4 men in search of barbecue get the best in town? That's up for debate. All we know is we left happy and we left full. Kansas State University, they just opened a 250,000 square foot athletics building. Huge part of that, the Nelson family locker room, dedicated of course in part to Packers wide receiver Jordy Nelson. I hope the video does this thing justice. I mean, it is just huge and it's glorious. It's amazing. It's opulent. I can't imagine how any young recruit would look at this locker room and not want to stay and play at K-State. They've got a barber shop in here. They've got a recovery pool that's worthy of the nicest spa. They've got TVs, amenities everywhere. And of course, made possible in part by Nelson's play on the field at Kansas State and his assistance after he made it to the NFL.
He's the same person in 07 today that he was back then, just real down to earth. The epitome of what a K-Stater is, hardworking. You know, would prefer to lay low than to have all the publicity and all the attention, which I respect so much, and just a really good, down-to-earth person and family.
Everyone we talk to says Jordy Nelson, so down to earth. It's easy to think of him as a Wisconsinite. He was in those Travel Wisconsin commercials. The state has kind of embraced him, taken him in as one of their own, but he is actually a product of Riley County, Kansas, and I'll tell you what, that's where we are headed next.
Leonardville, Kansas, where Bill Walsh has been connecting with Jordy's family ties. Bill?
Population 450 here in Leonardville, Kansas. I just met Kim Nelson, Jordy's mom, about 20 minutes ago already. She's like one of the nicest people I ever met. It was a great conversation. It was so fun. We're in, of course, Nelson's Landing. They've got on the side here, Go Packers, for, of course, the Packers. Go Cats for the Kansas State Wildcats. And then, of course, Go Falcons for the Riley County Falcons. That's where Jordy played high school ball.
Keep your heels and say, there's no place like home.
You heard it in his Travel Wisconsin commercial, and it really is true for Jordy Nelson. There's no place like home.
I also remember the first time he ran out on the field that he was going to get to start and actually play, and that was just a feeling like no other.
Home is Leonardville, Kansas, population 450, where Kim runs Nelson's Landing, a restaurant that lines the walls with her son Jordy's accomplishments.
We went to all the football games.
He was a star high school quarterback for the Riley County Falcons, but Jordy's still not a star recruit. He had scholarship offers for smaller schools, but instead followed his dream.
But he said, I never wanted that what if in the back of my mind. What if I would have went to K-State and walked on, what would have happened?
Last fall, Kansas State named Nelson to their Ring of Honor, and the locker room in their brand new 250,000 square foot athletic complex, well, it's not named after Jordy. It carries the Nelson family name.
He's not one to have his name all on everything.
I don't think I'm in Kansas anymore.
Nelson was drafted in the second round by the Packers in 2008. Mom lovingly remembers the pick getting booed by Packers fans.
And they were like, why do they need another wide receiver? You know, and so it's kind of funny.
Oh, but ask any fan now. They're so happy to have Jordy.
I like it here. It's great here.
And Mom is thrilled that her son is in Green Bay.
It's like it is the perfect fit. Where they live, it's a lot like home. Not very many players get to stay with one team or stay with one quarterback. All right,
Kim Nelson also tells me that when Jordy Nelson's playing days are over, she expects him to be back working a farm in Riley County, Kansas, probably helping coach the local football team. About a half hour off of I-70 in western Kansas. Looks like a whole bunch of flat ground. Au contraire, check this out, Monument Rocks. Very cool. 80 million year old natural forming chalk formations. And look, they're just beautiful. We got the truck in back there for a sense of scale a little bit. Ask anybody in town, the Broncos are your Super Bowl 50 champion.
When the dust settles, the Broncos are going to win. That's just the way it is.
And it's been proven year in, year that defense wins championship.
Unstoppable.
At the Super Bowl headquarters, Bronco swag is, well, galloping off the shelves.
The whole table was filled with this, and this is all we have left now.
So these are moving quick.
Very quick.
Larimer Square downtown decked out in blue and orange crush. So are the fans.
There's a lot more now represented and prideful for their team.
28, 25.
28-25 sounds reasonable, but really the number people are talking about, number 18, the one Peyton Manning wears.
Last year, he's going to lay it all on the line.
A long, storied career. Will Peyton Manning ride off into the sunset with another ring? Here the answer is clear.
Chicken parm, you taste so good.
See behind me, we're looking down over Green River here. Absolutely beautiful section of the country. Road trip stopped here for dinner. A very specific reason for that. We had to. This is the most desolate section of interstate in the entire country. We're traveling along I-70, and from Green River to Salina, 110 miles away, there are no motorist services, no gas stations, no restaurants, no nothing. You think there's pressure on the players next Sunday? For sports books across Nevada, like the Westgate Superbook, there's an estimated $120 million in bets on the line.
We're anticipating a record.
Jeff Stoneback, manager of the book at the Mirage, says he's already seen a $500,000 wager. But really, it's the recreational gambler that drives the record numbers.
The biggest game of the year. Everybody bets the Super Bowl.
Bettors like Rex Christopher.
Put a little money on a long shot and it's almost like playing the lottery.
Many place money on which team will win and by how much, but what draws the novice are proposition bets. The Mirage posted 200 of them today. One example. How many completions will Peyton Manning have?
If the game's a blowout, you've got something to root on. You got Peyton Manning. Will he have 20 completions?
This prop bet craze started all the way back in 1985 with the Chicago Bears.
There was a place here in town that put up a prop, was Refrigerator Perry going to score a touchdown? And that was kind of the genesis of the props.
Chapman says he's putting his money on Peyton Manning.
I got to play for the Broncos.
But most of the betting public favors Carolina, meaning the Mirage would stand to lose a lot of money if the Panthers win.
2-to-1 tickets written on the Panthers and also on the money right now. So if they kicked off today, we would definitely need the Broncos.
All right, a couple things I found interesting. The people that make the prop bets, if you want to be one, don't go be a statistician. Start as a ticket writer in the sports book and work your way up for many, many years. That's how everyone at the Mirage has done it. There are about 4 people in that department, including Jeff as a manager. Other thing I found interesting, there's some exotic proposition bets out there, like how long will the national anthem last before the Super Bowl, and what color will the Gatorade be that is poured on the coach? Well, Nevada does not take those kind of exotic proposition bets. This is hallowed ground for any Packers fan.
I do believe the end zone was right around here, where Max made the catch.
I am standing where Max McGee caught a touchdown in Super Bowl I. LA Coliseum general manager Joe Furin tells me that game, just one of many chapters in this building's rich history. Names like Charles Lindbergh, the Rolling Stones, John F. Kennedy.
The Pope, Nelson Mandela, they all came here.
Jesse Owens ran on that track, did he not?
He did. He was with Ohio State. They came to play, had a track meet against USC.
We're in the home locker room. Contrast this room with the one we saw earlier in the trip in Manhattan, Kansas. Quite a difference between USC's and the one named after Jordy Nelson's family.
Now that you've seen the home side, you must see the visitor side.
And the visiting locker room. Conditions here best described as basic, minimal, run down.
Can you imagine 60 300-pounders shoulder to shoulder? This is it.
Legend has it that when the Raiders played here, there was a chance to renovate the visiting locker room, but legendary owner Al Davis declined.
Al Davis said, yes, that's exactly how I want it.
It lacks modern amenities like suites. There's exposed concrete. It shows its 93-year age, but then you go to the top of the press box and you realize why Angelinos love it here.
You've got downtown LA. You've got the Hollywood sign.
Trust me, as good as it looks, our cameras did not do this view justice.
But on a real clear day, you're seeing the Pacific Ocean and Catalina Island.
You just can't build the character that is in this building today. And thankfully, the city recognizes that.
The University of Southern California made a 98-year commitment to run the place. So at some point, it's going to be 200 years old. So it is not going anywhere.
A lot of stops over the past 8 days, hitting 9 states and over 3,000 miles. Here's some of the highlights over the trip.
Day one of the road trip started off early. Check it out, the open road. We're taking a road trip. We are deep inside Schutt Sports Manufacturing. Hello from St. Louis. We're on our way into Kansas City. We're going to talk a little Super Bowl I.
What are we going to call this game? What game are you talking about? He says, the championship game, the Super Bowl.
KC known for its barbecue, so we set out to get some. Mission accomplished.
May I help you?
Beef, ribs, brisket.
The road trip rolls on. Right now, we're at Baker University, alma mater of Packers head coach Mike McCarthy.
We're standing on a turf that he was a big part of helping. He wants to give back.
Kansas State University, the Nelson family locker room.
He's the same person in 07 today that he was back then.
He's actually a product of Riley County, Kansas.
And what an opportunity to be in Green Bay with the Packers. They are such a unique organization.
Look, they're just beautiful. The CBS 58 road trip rolls into Colorado.
The Broncos are going to win. That's just the way it is.
That defense wins championship.
A long day of driving. We got to get to Vegas.
By the time we got to kind of the top of the Rockies, we were dealing with a little bit of light snow, some rain mix.
Beautiful night here in the Las Vegas Strip.
Biggest game of the year. Everybody bets the Super Bowl.
We're going to take you inside the Mirage Sportsbook.
I got to play for the Broncos.
We'll be giving you reports from the LA Coliseum.
It's always been an iconic stadium. It grew as the city grew.
Man, this has gone fast. It seems like an hour ago, I don't know, we were leaving Milwaukee. Well, look, we're almost there.
Chicken parm, you taste so good.